Hello students, today we will study some basic terminologies of ER model. So this is the outline. We will study introduction of ER model, entity, attributes. So here we have ER is entity relationship model. It is based on the real world objects and their relationship. Okay, so if there is some institute, there we will have students, we'll have faculties, we'll have management. So these all the real world entities, real world objects, or entity is something like we can make distinguishing table for one entity, so you can connect with it such that we identify all the required objects for our database requirement and give the shape of database objects. Okay, firstly we identify what is needed, what will be needed in the designing of the database, and then after identifying the objects we particularly uh, uh, find out the attributes which will be needed for particular object, and then we make that particular entity. And before putting them into database, it is very much essential to understand the requirement properly and design them efficiently. It is like the foundation of a building. Basically, when we are designing a ER model, then we will have to understand the requirement properly. So here we are studying entity. In a database, we would be grouping only related data together and storing them under one group name called entity or table. Okay, table is very general word and it is not used in database. It is just here I have written because you can understand the term, because I think entity you would be hearing first time. So I guess if you relate with a table, it will be very comfortable for you to understand that entity is just like a table. Okay, where we will have some columns, where we will have some rows. Column will be the attributes and rows will be the records. Okay, this helps in identifying which data is stored where and under what name. It reduces the time to search for a particular data in a whole database. So if we compare, firstly we used to have file systems and the data was scattered in raw format. So it was very difficult that to find some data which we don't know where and which file, in which file we will get our required data. So here we have data arranged in such a manner that we can easily retrieve it in and the time for recovering that data is very less. So here we are considering an example. Suppose we are creating a school database. There we will be needing some schools, students, teachers, subject, class, etc. But each of them having their own group of related information. That is student ID. A student has ID, name, address, date of birth, class in which he is studying, etc. for a student. And similarly, teachers will have. Okay. So for particular entity, there will be some number of attributes related to it. So each entity forms a group of related information. In real world, each and every object forms a entity. So here we will study about types of entity. Basic types of entity are strong and weak entity. Suppose we are having a table, and if entity is having its own attribute as primary keys are strong entities. And sometimes it happens, this time you don't know about primary key, so it's very difficult to understand for you, but I will discuss primary key and you will be able to understand it easily. So primary key is basically a key which is used to distinguish whole table. Just as I have told you about a table in which student can act as a primary key, student ID can act as a primary key, because it can, suppose you have roll number something, roll number 60. Okay, so for that roll number only you and you exist in the class. Nobody else can be seated in your class. So roll number 60 defines everything about you. If you will go to office and say, sir, I have to pay fee for roll number 60, he will never ask you your name. Okay, so this is the fundamental of primary key, because the one single um value can determine all of the records, because all of your record is saved with the same id, and that is student id or roll number. So that we have made as primary key, so that we can distinguish whole of the record: your father name, your date of birth, your address, your phone number, your email id. Everything is related to that phone number, sorry, so to that roll number. So that way we can assign a primary key. So coming back to strong entity, if a table has its primary key in this table only, then we say that this is a strong entity. And what is weak entity? When a table does not have any attribute to say as a primary key, and it has to import some primary key from other table to make it uh, distinguished or organized, or uh, for easy retrieval of data from that table, then it is weak entity. Then we come to composite entity. If entities participating in a many to many relationships, then we call it composite entity. Then recursive entity. If a relation exists between the same entities, then such entities are called recursive. So we have example of strong and weak entity. You can see that we have a class and a section. Suppose if when you were studying in school, suppose we are taking the example of school, you were having class 11th and section suppose D. So if I have only this entity section, would you be able to recognize what section of it is and what kind of section, which section, from which? Because every class has sections. Okay, so for specifying section we need to specify class on the first place. Okay, so if we are specifying class, then it is easy for us to explain what kind of section it is. So if we have class as class name is 11th and class id we have given 11, and class name suppose okay 11 only, then section is easily recognizable. Suppose if I have given D, then section ID will be given in this section ID D. Okay, so we will be able to easily recognize that this section D is coming from this class 11. Okay, so this way these are two relations. So class ID we have in this entity called as class. Okay, and in section we have section ID, but without class id we were not able to recognize what kind of section it is. So we are taking this attribute class id in this section table. So now we are able to recognize it clearly, and here we can say that this section is weak entity. Why? Because it's only um, IDs and columns names were not sufficient to say what kind of section it is. It was needing this class ID. So that's why this is weak entity and class is strong entity. Here we have example of composite entity. When two tables we have, and we are not having some particular relationship between these two tables, then we design another table which is having relationship of these two tables. So here we are concentrating on this student table, we have student ID, student name, address, date of birth. Then we have another entity, course. Course ID, course name are the attributes in the course. Now, we should have some kind of relationship between students and course. So, we have student course as the relationship. Okay, this is student, this is the course. So, here we have student course, and these two things are derived from this and this, student ID and course ID. So, these two are combined to form this table, and now when we have these two values in a table, then we can easily relate these and these two tables. Suppose if I have to find student ID, I have course name, and I want to find student's date of birth. Okay, so these three things cannot be found in a single table. So what we will have to do is to join these tables, or we will have to make some composite entities so that we can have the relationship between these two, because we don't know which student has taken which course. So if student ID 1 has taken course number 10, then we will have to see here the mapping of these two. Then only we can tell student ID, date of birth, and course name. Okay, so this is the use of composite entity. Here we have recursive entity. We have entity called as lecturer. Here we can have lecture ID, lecture name, and HOD. Something we can see here is something is repeated, because for HOD there will be another table, but HOD is also taking lecture, so he is also a lecturer. So here we are saying that HOD is also lecturer. So another entity is here part of an entity. So here basically this is a recursive entities example. Mapping between manager and employee is recursive entity. Why? Because manager is employee of the first place. Then HOD of the department is another example of having recursive entity. Then we come to attribute. What is attribute? It is a list of all the related information of an entity which has valid value. So basically I was telling you attribute is column name. Just keep that in mind, that attribute is column name. Okay. So attribute is list of all related information. For example, student ID, student name, roll number, or name, age, date of birth, address, phone number, email ID. These all are the related information of the entity student. Okay, which has a valid value. Okay, an attribute can have single value or multiple value or range of value. It can have multiple values also, but then we will have to separate them. Okay, because this is not the proper way of keeping your database. Then in addition, each attribute can contain certain type of data, like only numeric value or only alphabets or combination of balls or date, or negative or positive values, etc. Okay, so these kind of values can be written in the attribute. Depending on the values that an attribute can take, it is divided into different types. Now we will be studying different types of attributes. So first is simple attribute, in which the kinds of attributes have values which cannot be divided further. For example, student's ID, student's roll number cannot be divided further. So yeah. Then composite attribute that we have seen just now. This kind of attribute can be divided further to more than one simple attribute. For example, address of a person. Here, address can be further divided as door number, street, city, state, and pin. Then comes derived attribute. Derived attributes are those whose value can be obtained from other attributes of entities in the database. For example, age of person can be obtained from date of birth and current date. See, if you know the current date and if you know the date of birth of a person, can't you calculate the age of a person? So this is the way you derive attribute from the given information. Some more types of attributes. Stored attribute. If you have stored date of birth attribute, so this will be known as a stored attribute. Then comes single value attribute, means this will have only single value, employee ID or one. For example, then comes multi-valued attribute. These values can have more than one value at any point. For example, a person can have more than one email address, more than one car, one uh, anything which he can have. Phone numbers can be multiple. Okay, his houses can be multiple. Property can be multiple. So, multi-valued attribute means a person have a number of things. Okay, then descriptive attribute means attributes of relationship is called descriptive attribute. For example, employee works for the department. Here, works for is the relation between employee and department entity. The relation works for can have attribute date of join, which is a descriptive attribute. Descriptive means it is describing some attribute. It is describing some value. If date of join is written, this is the description of some value, because an employee is working for particular department, and this date of and if this date of joining, he joined the department and started giving his services. So now you understood why works for is described with the help of date of joining.